Conversate for a few.
Short and it's time to be free. Love who you love because life isn't guaranteed. Smile.
Conversate for a few.
All right, we back from listening to the third joint on 444. Smile, yo. Shit. The first thing I want to know how long it'll be before Superfacts is part of the lexicon. You know what I mean?
Because you know it's coming.
You know it's coming.
You know he popularized a lot of slang through his music.
Yeah.
So I know Superfacts.
Superfacts. Superfacts. It's gotta happen.
Yeah.
It's gotta happen.
Hashtag Superfacts coming.
It's coming. Now, we might do a Superfacts episode. That's just too Jay-Z out. I'm not going that far. But this is the first time on this particular album, and I'm a super tough critic, you know what I mean? But this is the first time. I love the song. Let me start there. I love the song, but it's the first time where I heard any semblance of a falter, and it's literally in one line. You know what I mean? Where it's one line on the second verse where it seemed like he tried to stuff too many words in the sentence, and it's something that Jay-Z does from time to time. If you listen to enough of him, you'll hear him do it every once in a while, and I know he hears it.
Yeah, he hears it.
But I guess which makes me think that's something that stylistically he wants there.
He wanted there.
Which bothers me because it's not supposed to be. It's bad. You know what I mean? So I take credit. I take a mark off every time I hear him do it. Right. So I gotta take a mark on this song.
Right.
But made up for it with the third verse.
With the third verse, fire. Third verse,
yeah.
And before you even said it, third verse is one of my favorite verses on the entire album. He murdered that from start to finish spitting.
Yeah. Went dumb.
But I will say on the minor falter that you took a point away.
Yeah.
We know he wanted it there.
Conversate for a few.
So I'm in agreement with you. I just wanted to deal with the other side, which is it goes along though with the novelty of the album.
Right.
Because this is all something new. You never had this from him.
Right.
And generally, like you said, you don't usually hear him try to put too many stuff too many words in a line.
Right.
Like so, I think it just ties really into the theme of Jay-Z doing something different. But in truth, if you look deep enough in his music, it's really not different.
Not different, yeah.
You know what I mean? But on the surface, this whole project is different. It stands out from the other projects.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I could see that being the this is one of those songs that we keep going back to introspection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was introspective with himself, up to this point, but he got into like his mom's and real sensitive issues. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
And they had to have a talk.
Come on,
had to have a talk. Like, Ma, I'm putting this line in here.
Yeah.
She must have been, cool with it.
She's on the end of the song, so I'm certain she gave the blessing. You know what I mean? But I mean, okay, I'm gonna look at it from this side, right? If you had if it was a family member that had been in the closet, you know what I'm saying, LGBTQ, and had been in the closet for all this time, and then they finally came out of the closet to you, and you were proud enough for them to add it to your music. You know what I mean? I think there's a show of respect and honor for that person in doing that. Not necessarily trying to expose. Because anytime I talk about any issue that has anything to do with LGBTQ issues, I know that I'm speaking for people other than people that I care about. You know what I mean? So, and I hope that they think that I speak from a point of honoring them. You know what I mean? So I would imagine that that's how his mom's felt. And I know he proud of her. You know what I'm saying? For being able to live who she is at a certain point.
Right. And whether he agreed with it or not. But he accepted her decision. That's my mom. I love you. That's what makes you happy. And that's the whole point.
That's the thing.
Smile. I just, we say, I don't really care if it's a him or her. Yeah. I don't care. I just wanted you to be happy.
There you go.
And that's really the general theme of the song, regardless of what you're going through, what you've been through. Smile. There's always, You know, there's always a positive, even in a seemingly negative situation.
Absolutely.
And so I thought that was one of the dopest lines is when he was addressing his mother, and he said, you know, mama had 4 children, but she's a lesbian. Had to pretend so long that she's a thespian.
Like,
yeah,
wow.
She became an actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then he talked about her self-medicating to get through the pain. Yeah. You know, which is what a lot of these young boys is doing right now.
Yes.
Young boys, these artists, like it's a lot of they self-medicate and they walking through this thing in a dream, bro.
Right.
Like,
so they don't really know what's going on. They detached from real reality. But what's more important, and it's funny how it's become, you know, the basis of really a lot of new music.
Yeah, it is the basis.
You know what I mean? From Percocets to Molly and this, that, and the other. So, which means they also, whether they're even conscious of it, are in some pain.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They self-medicating. It's pain. That's what the pain ain't necessarily coming out in the music. The pain is coming out in the actions. But there was a time when the pain bled through in music.
Right. But now, like you said, it's coming out not through the music, but through the actions. But those actions are now surrounding the music and form like a new culture,
era. It's, you know, it's the trap era. You know what I mean? But but I ain't mad at it. It's just, you know, it just needs some tailoring.
Right.
And you know, some tailoring, some refining, and then maybe some discussion between people on our end from our generation, and a lot of discussion for people from our generation with those people. Bless you, bro. But yeah, just tackling those things on this album and bringing on this song and bringing that issue in the the LGBTQ issue, which is gonna have to be spoken about in hip hop. Like, we could try to not for as long as we want to, but as long as you got humans on the planet and as long as humans is doing the arts, you're gonna have LGBT people involved. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
They involved heavy.
Right. So, but hip hop is not a place where it's necessarily...
It's generally open-armed accepted.
There you go. I was gonna say aloud, but open-armed accepted is a better way to say it. And for Jay to be on the forefront, I didn't know he didn't come out as far as rights or anything like that goes. But when you speak about your mom in a certain way, that goes beyond some rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because what he did is humanized.
Definitely.
He humanized the issue that hasn't been humanized in hip hop. Yeah. I don't know how people gonna feel about it. I know how I feel about it, and I don't really give a damn how nobody else feel about it. But it's necessary, and if it's gonna be done, then at least have it be done in a thoughtful way.
Right.
You know?
Right. And
so that it won't be slandered if it's done in a thoughtful way. Right.
I mean, and that's like saying, him making that statement, and this is why the album is so personal. Right. I mean, that's like saying, yeah, my mom smoked crack. That's her over there.
Yeah. That's basically what he said. Yeah. In the next line.
And yeah. And it's like nobody wants to really admit that or talk about that about him. So this is like his most honest. And revealing album. Yeah. So I love it because it's going through. You really getting a real look at Sean Carter.
And the things that made Sean Carter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because your mom having to be a thespian and self-medicating due to the fact that she's having to be a thespian guaranteed has some effect on you.
Definitely has to have an impact because you have a connection with this woman since birth.
That's right.
So think about, we did not know his mom was a lesbian before this album.
Right.
So just that alone, that one thing alone,
that inform a lot of the other music that you heard from this.
Right. Yeah. And you never heard about it. So you got to think, what made him start to say all of this stuff at this particular time?
Right.
And what's so funny about it is funny, man. And of course, not to get like too religious, but like Jesus, it talked about like whenever he went somewhere or spoke, it divided the people.
Yeah.
Some people were saying kill him. Some people were saying that he's an angel.
Yeah.
Don't bother him. Hands off. and this is what is done. Like, you have some people saying that he was anti-Semitic, right? Yeah. But at the same time, my wife told me about an article where, you know, the LGBT community was like, he's so brave, he's great, we love what he did.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, do you understand? This is going to be the most impactful album of the decade, and it's got everybody in every facet of life talking.
Okay. So that answers my question. And the other day, like I said, I saw somebody that was, I think it was Joe Budden somewhere. Yeah. And for the sake of this album, I'm going to say Joe Buttons, because he said Buttons up with the Amigos on here. And I know it's Button. I don't mean no harm, Joe. They was talking about what was Jay's most important album. But if we talk about impact,
it's gonna be this one. I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be this one.
Yeah, you know, prediction wise, the thing if it's not, I hope it is.
Yeah,
because of what it could impact.
Right, it's gonna have to be, because, you know, and you think Black Album drop. Let's just name a few. Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
Black Album. I ain't gonna say Reasonable Doubt, because as Jay said himself, you know, my first one, y'all all lamed out. Didn't appreciate the second album because it was kind of in the shadows of it was written, because they released within a week of each other, and Nas at the time was a bigger artist. So let's say something like Black Album, Blueprint. Let's just
and maybe Blueprint 3.
You any of those big albums, none of them affected as many facets of life like this one is in its first week.
In its first week, people talking about
like it was dope album, like, oh, Jay-Z new album out,
and it created trends, changed culture, it did some things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
But never crossed into so many different fields and had so many people talking in all the various avenues of life about this album. So everybody, whether you wanted to be directly or indirectly, you're drawn into this new project.
From the most ridiculous hood conversation about money phones,
exactly,
to the LGBT community championing this man for being a hero, to the ACLU, is that what it was? ADL, and I defamate ADL, Anti-Defamation League is over here talking about the man is anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? And we over here calling him the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? And we over here hoping that the message bleeds enough into the community so that it starts to change some things. You know what I mean? Like, along with the action that we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as your personal self.
Yes.
You know, being an entrepreneur, being an author, you know what I'm saying? Being a creative, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Those things that we already do, creating podcasts, creating content, designing, you know what I mean? Anything that it is music that we do, it don't make no difference what it is we trying to carry that same entrepreneurial mantra and mantle, you know what I mean, forward. And we've been trying, but hopefully there's an influx due to something like this. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully it becomes cool.
It becomes cool to be yourself.
There we go.
And accept whether, and this is a big thing that's very hard. You don't have to agree with a person's opinion or lifestyle, but you should be intelligent enough and mature enough to accept people as they are and deal with them justly.
There you go.
So hopefully, and that's just one great positive message to take away from the album. But if that can filter in, it'll make you know what I mean? It'll make, you know what I mean, not to be too cliche, but the world, better.
Period. It will. And there ain't nothing wrong with being idealistic and hoping that we can make a world better. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we should be trying to do. And if we don't try to do it, I think that's a lot of what this album is saying too. Is like, I'm not afraid to give a damn. I'm not afraid to try to make it better. I'm not afraid to speak about it being better, because it makes you less cool when you care. All the way back to school, like high school, like didn't nobody want to be the nerd.
Yeah, and I know, and so it's beautiful. This album, it really is, because as you said that, I thought about the Emperor Has No Clothes.
Yeah.
And raw truth, regardless of, nobody else want to say it because it's the Emperor. He has power. You don't want to get killed. He don't have clothes, man.
Don't know what.
Yeah, but Jay saying stuff really that most people aren't don't want to say.
All that,
really,
he
took a huge risk, really, and he knew that, was saying a lot of this stuff. Because he knew he was going to come under fire probably for the comment about Jewish owning a lot, Jews owning a lot of the property.
He knew he would.
I mean, multiple things. He knew the basic hood dude. You don't like how we rocking. You don't like what we doing.
You old, nigga.
You know what I mean?
So, he knew they was going to hit him with that.
So he's calling out. He's calling it as he see it.
Right.
Whether you like it or agree or not.
It's gonna be, this is what it is.
Yeah.
How I see it.
Yeah.
I feel that. And it. How crazy is it that a song like "Smile" would end up being one of the more controversial songs on the album? You know what I mean? Like, maybe
you wouldn't think that. You would think maybe "Marcy Me" if you heard it.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, I like his approach on here. The first time I heard it, I was like, yo. This dude is swinging from the fences. Like he just don't. He letting it all hang out, bro. Yeah. And I'm happy to see it. You know what I mean? Like this is
refreshing.
That's the
album is refreshing.
That's the word I sent to my boy. That's the word I sent to Ruse.
Yeah.
When Jeruz hit me, was like, yo, this album is crazy. The word I was like, bruh, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It is.
It's been what's been needed for a long time now.
Yeah. From somebody that you already
expect greatness.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Like it's
and
dope
respect it.
Yeah, respect it and expect greatness. It's like because I ain't gonna front. Kendrick been giving me what I need in the album because it's enough for me to dig through and be a nerd behind.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Plus, it's good music. You know what I mean. I could be a rap nerd and all that good stuff, but I didn't grow up to this dude. This dude is. You see what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
He can only give me so many gems because he's only been through so much.
So much. And he didn't experience your time frame.
That's what I mean, right.
So he can't connect. So he can do something great. And like Kendrick, one of my favorite, especially new artists, he's running it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And he's sick with it, Pen.
Absolutely.
But he don't have a 96 connection with you.
With me. It's not a nostalgic connection.
Right, it's not right.
Yeah.
And so
So there's a lack of trust.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that there's a lack of trust. Like I'm not taking game from Kendrick as much as I would, even if it's there. Like I'm not taking it from him the way I would.
And by default, to really no fault of his own, he does not have enough to give you because, as you said, he didn't had enough time and experience.
Right.
And this is which brings me to one point before you move to the next song, but. Jay-Z has changed the game, dropped a crazy impactful album that has crossed lines in various avenues of life at the age of what? 47, right?
47, 48.
So he's also redefining, because we talked about this, in all other genres of music, bluegrass, rock, classical, it doesn't matter yet. No one cares about your age when you put out music. It's only in rap and in the hip hop community. It'd be like, man, that nigga old. You still rapping? You're like 50, nigga. Hang it up.
There's never been a channel. There's never been a station for hip hoppers to even transition to when we get old. Even as R&B and soul, you go from straight hip hop R&B, like in air quotes, and once you get old, you go to 104.3, like urban contemporary radio, right? You see what I'm saying? They ain't even no landing spot for hip hop. They play it, but they playing the stuff. They gon',
Yeah, and so what he's done, man, he's opened up all types of avenues. So he's making it where you can actually be, if you have the talent.
If you had the talent.
Be damn near 50. And still be a trendsetter and still be relevant in the hip hop game.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of just took hip hop and stretched it out a little bit. Just give it a time stretch like you do in Logic and Pro Tools. You give it a little time stretch. I mean, we need it.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm happy for it. I'm 42. Shit.
Yeah.
Time stretch that bitch again, Jay. That's what I'm talking about. But I don't care. See, I keep enough young niggas around to stay fresh. You feel me? Like, you got to.
Yeah,
I got to. You know what I mean? Like, I do what I do and let them clean up the mess. I make a mess and let them clean it up. You know?
They got the energy.
They got the energy.
And the time.
Right? And the time ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking backwards. Like, I'm, shit, at 42, what is it, expected it to be 80? Or around so? I'm 2 years past half, bruh. I'm 2 years past half,
counting. Baby. Every moment count. Every minute count.
All of them. That's why, I don't waste my time listening to no bullshit. This Jay-Z is enjoyable because all the minutes count. You know what I mean? I got time to be listening to bad music. I don't, and I won't. I think that Smile though, was it's a landmark piece of stuff in hip hop. You might not seem like it from the jump, you know what I mean? But over time, I think it's gonna prove itself. Like you said, Alan, I think this is gonna prove itself to be one of the most impactful albums that Jay-Z ever dropped. This song being one of the reasons. Yes. This song being one of the catalysts to it being really impactful. This and the one before it.
Yeah, because when you think about it, when the album dropped, the people talk about the album and how good it is, but it's never like people are actually talking about the actual content
of this themes, album,
the concepts,
what he's saying, the word. This is crazy.
This hasn't been done with the other albums, even though they were great albums.
You're right.
So I mean, that alone is like you create a paradigm shift.
You're right. And I've been around for every Jay-Z release.
Yeah.
And there's been times where I've jumped out the car and ran up the street because music makes me extremely excited. And, but that was like, Blueprint. I couldn't take it, but that was the beats. Mm-hmm. He killed them songs. You know what I'm saying? Killed with a T. Killed. He killed them songs. No skirt. But I didn't go back line for line like, ooh. This right here, bruh, this content is line for line. Like, he is dragging these bars. I don't understand. Like, this has been here the entire time, and he been taking it easy on you niggas.
He bodies every beat.
Every beat. And like I said, there's only one verse on here where I'm like, damn, Jay.
Yeah, and even that compared to most music that is released.
Even what he says in that one verse is ridiculous. Yeah. I just don't like how he said one thing in that verse.
Yeah, because...
I don't like how he said that. But everything else... That one part. But other than that, it's a go for your boy. I can't even... Like I said, there's a couple people out here that's acting like they don't like the project. I don't understand you people.
And they can't really give you a sound argument as to what they don't like, because you cannot, number one, you cannot say on this album, well, he ain't talking about nothing. Can't say that. So you got to scrap that. You can't say, well, man, the beats is whack because it's no ID. Come on, stop it.
Right.
So what is it? And he's spitting.
Now the thing is that's the only thing. The no ID. I'm a fan. The only thing that because that part of it is maybe subjective. Because people hear the music that people like, the feel of the music that they like. If if you came from listening to No Disrespect, but if there's disrespect taken, then it was necessary. You go from listening to an album full of Migos and a day full of Migos and then you put this on sonically, it may jar you and you may be like, this ain't good. But if that's what you've been doing, you did that to yourself because you sat there and listened to a day full of Migos.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You should have pulled back a little bit and then injected
and then listen.
You inject some, broaden what you hear on a daily basis, and more music will be understandable by your ears. Like your palate will expand. Great point. Like expand your palate. If you can't
just
understand
like food,
this,
tasting food.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't keep just trying a bunch of different food. You won't be able to distinguish. That's why they use they do like salt or something like that,
like a citrus drink. Sometimes to cleanse your palate, and they'll but you gotta cleanse your palate, man. You gotta cleanse your palate and expand your palate, and because if this sound like old people music to you, then you doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong because this is fresh as hell.
Yeah, your music IQ way low. If this is
old, if this sound old to you, your music IQ is low.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I gotta say it just like there ain't no other way.
Ain't no other way. Like either that or you hating.
Yeah, and it's a few haters.
They out there, but hey, I got my own theory on haters. Like I don't think as many haters exist. I think a lot of popular people is making haters a thing so that you don't try to get popular. Cause you know what I mean, got to be.
Yeah.
I've been, you know what I'm saying, like, and if they are hating on me,
boogeyman.
Right? If they hating on me, then they not doing it where I can hear them. So I fuck them. We want to go to the next one. You think you got something else we need to say on this one here? Because I'm kind of excited to get to this next one.
Yeah. We can get to the next one.
I'm excited to listen to it.
Yeah.
So so we gonna go on to the next one. That last one was Smile, number 4 on that 444 Jay-Z album. This is Caught in Their Eyes. Listen to it for us.
Conversate for a few.
Talking about that east side nigga with that east side nigga with that east side.